Today I'm going to share a knitting pattern that's the motif of a tree or Christmas tree, and you can turn it upside down. You can see the negative space becomes a tree. And I'm going to show you how to knit the first layer of trees, and you can use the same way to finish the second part. Here is the pattern. I have 10 stitches and 18 rows. I draw up the pattern using the free software on the internet. It's called stitchfiddle.com. I use the free version, but you can also have a paid version for more advanced features. It's basically two-color knitting, but you can change color for the second layer of the Christmas tree. Because each of the repeat has 10 stitches, so you need to cast down multiple of 10 stitches to make continuous pattern. If you knit it in the round, you can rechart from the right to left for every row. If you do flat knitting, on the back side, you have to read from the left to right and do the purl stitches. So it's much easier to knit in a round and then stick it or cut it and make it into a flat piece. Because we are doing circular knitting, I read the chart from the right for every row. And row 1, we need 1 light, 8 dark, and 1 light. I already set up my circular knitting with a lighter color, and I have a few rows of ribbon. The first stitch is a light color, just knit normally. And the second one is a darker color. We add the dark color yarn and continue knitting for 8 stitches. And then we change back to the light color yarn and knit 1 stitch. You can see this creates a long float in the back because we have 8 stitches in between, and 8 stitches a little bit too long for the float. Usually we try to control the flow maybe between 2-3 stitches or up to 4 or 5 stitches. That means we can cross the yarn in the back every 3 to 5 stitches to prevent the flow gets too big. We can cross the old yarn on top of the new yarn and knit the next stitch. Or we can cross the yarn the other way, as long as we can catch the yarn so the flow doesn't get too long. For some projects, it might not matter for the long float in the back. For example, if you are making a pillowcase and you will not see the back side of the float, then you don't have to worry about crossing the yarns and reduce the float. The other problem I have about keep twisting the yarn in the same direction is that you might create a lot of twisted yarn and it becomes tangled easily. So you might want to twist the yarn alternatively in different directions or different rows so it doesn't get tangled very easily. And that's what it looks like after you finish the first row. The second row is to knit 2 light, 6 dark, 2 light. So the 6 stitches might create a long float in the back, so we can cross it after the 3rd stitch and continue knitting the other 3 stitches. That will reduce the size of the float in the back. And that's what it looks like in the front and what it looks like in the back. And we just keep going until the end of the round. The third row is 3 light, 4 dark, and then 3 light colors. The 4 stitches we can get away with without adding the crossing in the back, but when we have 3 stitches light color and 3 stitches light color together, you have 6 stitches. So we need to cross it between the 6 stitches, between the third and fourth stitches to be exact. And we can just repeating these 10 stitches all the way. Row 4 is 4 light, 2 dark, and 4 light. So between the first 4 light color and the second 4 light color, it becomes 8 stitches continuously. So you can break it down maybe 3 stitches, 3 stitches, and 2 stitches, or just 4 stitches and 4 stitches. You can cross it once with 4 stitches and 4 stitches, or cross it 2 times if you want to break into 3, 3, 2. In this case, I only cross once between the 4th and the 5th stitches, but it's up to you. You can decide how many stitches you want between the crossing. The row 5 is 2 light, 6 dark, and 2 light. And just keep repeating these 10 stitches. So you have 6 stitches that creates a long float. You can break it up by 3 and 3. So after the third stitch, you can cross the yarn in the back and continue the next 3 stitches. You will reduce the long float in the back. We cross the stitch after the 3 dark color stitches, and then we continue the other 3 dark color stitches. The row 6 is 3 light, 4 dark, and 3 light. The first 3 light and the last 3 light stitches will create a continuous 6 light stitches. So again, we break it up every 3 stitches. So between the third and the fourth stitches, we can cross in the back to reduce the float. And then we continue the pattern to the end of the round. The row 7 is 4 light, 2 dark, and 4 light. The first and the last 4 stitches will create a stitch continuously. So again, you can break it down to 2 of the 4 stitches or 3, 3, and 2 stitches, and just cross it in the back. And we continue following the pattern all the way around. Row 8 is 3 light, 4 dark, and 3 light. The first and the last 3 light stitches will create 6 stitches, and we have to break it up. We can do 3 stitches, cross in the back, and then 3 stitches. Otherwise, it's the same as before. Just follow the pattern and knit all the way to the end of the round. Row 9 is 4 light, 2 dark, and 4 light. Again, the first and the last 4 stitches create 8 stitches continuously. So to reduce the float, we can break it up between the 4th and the 5th stitches of the light color. And this is the last row of the first Christmas tree. If you just want one layer of the tree pattern, you can stop here and change to the background color and finish off your project. If you want to continue the pattern for the second layer of the Christmas tree, I have the chart of every row spelled out so you can refer to it and knit row by row. This is what it looked like for the first layer of the tree pattern. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoy it.